Page 184. This is a Nocturne. It's another lead sheet. They give you the melody and the chords, and you get to do the make up the accompaniment or whatever you know. So first, let's get the melody down. We're in 1 flat, F major or D minor, and actually we're in F major. I'll just save you the trouble. It ends on the chord at the bottom is an F chord. It's okay. So at the beginning here, 1, 2, 3, and then we have that triplet. 1 and a 2, 3, 1 and a 2, 3, and then 16th notes. 1 and a 2. Don't forget the B flat. It's in the key signature. So these notes get quicker. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1 and a 2, 3, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There. 5, that's major 5, 1 and 2. And if your hand's small enough, that's fine. If it isn't, then you got a second finger to stay out here. So measures 4 again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and a 2. It's another triplet, 1 and. Then you repeat to the top. Let's go down to measure 9. You're finishing measure 6 here. And then for measure 9, the second ending, you simply lift up and move down. You get an 8th rest. So it's 1 and 2, 2, 3, 1 and 2. Then measure 13, D flat, E flat. And those flats are good for the rest of the measure. So the tie, and then a thumb. Now if that doesn't work for you, I mean there's no black key here, so that might be okay. Otherwise you got to come here, and that's a stretch. But if you got really big hands, that's not that much of a stretch. So you get the melody down, and then we get the chords. I recommend just block chords. This is an F chord, C chord, B flat chord, it's a B flat D F, C chord, D chord, G minor. It's the same as G except you lower the here. You might play it down here, I'm not sure. It's up to you on where you play it. You have to experiment. And then for measure 9, G minor, and then an A, and then a D minor. It's the same. That's a D major. You just come down here. D minor, and then a G, and then a B flat minor. Well, a B flat chord is here. We've already had that. Now if we want to make a minor out of it, we simply lower the third, the middle note. So that's a B flat minor. And then an F chord, then a B flat minor again. The little M stands for minor. And then an F. Something like that. So just make sure you know what the chords are. You might not know where to play them yet, but just figure out what the notes and the chords. Now they show you some ideas over here on page 185. So it's the broken chords for an F, and then a C is here, and a B flat. It's kind of getting an idea where to play them. They're not using the middle note in the chord. You could play. To experiment with it yourself, but if we just use there, it's the top and bottom note of the chord, so it's here, 1, so you'd work it out very slowly, playing just quarter notes with each of these, however you want to do. Another way of doing it, the pattern you use in the left hand is up to you. It's whatever. You're improvising. You're making it up. On page 185, down more, they give you the root 5th octave. Root is the beginning of the bottom. The 5th is an interval of a 5th up. So if it's like an F. 5th would be the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the octave is B, and that's the pattern. Root 5th. For each of these, see again, we're not using the middle note of the chord. We're using the bottom note twice. can try that. And you just experiment with that and see how it goes. And all the way through on all these notes, even the B flat minor chord here, well, if you do if you're not using the middle note, then you're not going to use the D flat. So the B flat minor and the B flat major are going to sound the same here because you're using the same note. You're not using the third of the chord, you're using the fifth. That could be either one, B flat major or minor, either one, because I'm not using the middle. That's what makes the difference between them. I'm not using that note. So when I get to measure 13, see, I'm just doing that. It's a B flat minor, but you can't tell it. Well, you do know it because the right hand's doing it. And then the final, and you can add some eighth notes in there. You make it all as complicated as you want to make it. I wouldn't make it too complicated because your left hand's moving around quite a bit. But you don't have to use root position on all of these either. You can use the inversions, it's okay. So that if I use F here, I can use C here. I didn't move very far. I can do B flat here. C here again. I'm just staying right here. So it's doesn't sound all that nice. That's why you have to experiment. So if the inversion you're using doesn't sound good, that C doesn't sound good in that inversion, I need to find a different inversion. I may need to use root. If you experiment, if it sounds okay, it's good enough. If you don't like the sound of it quite, then change it. Figure it out, experiment, try other things. You don't have to try other chords, just try other inversions, other arrangement of the chord and see what they sound like.